Alright, Michigan Ministry of the Code of the Department of Environmental Great Lakes and for the Oil Gas of the Ministry Minerals Division Oil Gas Operation Part 2 for the permit for the drill for the operation 324-201 application for the drill for the operate requirements issue for the permit Rule 2101 unit with the measure for the comply with the requirements of sub rule with the rule of the person shall with the beginning with the drilling with the operation over the well with the following oil gas for both injection with the secondary recovery the injection with the disposal with the brine oil gas field with the weight for the oil fluids and sale with the drilling with the producing treating well with the oil and gas well with the storage of the natural hydrocarbons, liquid petroleum gas derived for the oil gas, inject with the withdrawal of the storage of the natural gas and oil injection, withdrawal of the storage, high liquid hydrogen, and liquid petroleum gas. Permanent application shall comply with the following permanent application requirement: the executive well location of the surveyed license for the state with a readable visible take with the marker shall be set with the well location flag. Route shall be established for the well locations for the requirement of the subdivision A for the sub rule shall include the plat show over the following over the correct of the well location bottom hole of the location description flag route with the explanation of how the well is located may be reached for the footage for the intersection quarter section of the drilling unit lines information relative to the approximate distance of the direction state with the marker with the special have of the condition included of the following surface water environmental sensitive of the area 1,320 feet with the over the proposed well of the environmental sensitive of the area to define with the pursue with the applicable statement of the federal laws regulation fluid plans associated with the surface water at 1,320 feet for the proposed well with lands identified with the provision of 3301 33 to 3323 with the act with the 1,320 feet proposed well with the natural river identified with the provision of 3501 to 3515 with the act with the 1,320 feet with the proposed well with the cartage critical doom in the area with the designated with the provision of 350 301 350 to 326 with the act with the title within 1,320 feet with the proposed well with the threat with the endangered species with identified with the provision section 36501 to 36507 with the act with the 1,320 feet with the proposed well with the edge of the building record with the fresh water over the wells reasonable to identify with the fresh water over the wells utilized with the human the consumption of the public road with the pipeline power line for the live with the 6,000 feet 6,000 feet with the proposed well location public water supply and identified type 1 with the 2A and the live with 2,000 feet with the proposed well with the location of the type of LIB with an hour and type 3 with the live with between 800 feet with the proposed well with the location with the defined with the 1976 VA 399 MCL 325 1001 325 to 325 1023 identified with existing local zone designated with the surface location of a well application to utilize with a high volume and hydrofraction with the application include with the listing shown with the specified with identified with the associated cast number the aim with the chemical constitution of application with the anticipated with the adapted with the primary care with the fluid except for the specific indenture with the cast number the straight seek with the chemicals maybe the withheld with the provision paragraph with the one over this rule with the specific designated with the chemical constitution associated with the cast number the trade secret applicant may withhold special identity with the chemical constitution with the associated with the cast number the number the show with the chemical family associated with the chemical constitution provide with a similar description provide with the treatment of the claim of the trade secret with the protection has made with the entire with the make with the measures of claim listing constant chemical constitute with the under the requirements of the subdivision does not preclude with the permit with the utilize with the chemical constitution high value with the hydrofracturing with the operation however the chemical constitution actually shall be submitted done with the requirements of rule 1406 with the rule or signed with a sealed copy with the survey with the form prescribed with the supervisor shall be filed with the application for the permit to drill with the operator with the file e-file you with the procedure approved with the supervisor person applying with the drill operator with the well shall comply with the accurately with the fill out the set and sign with the written application for the permit to drill with the final form with the scribe with the supervisor with the e-file with the procedure approved with the supervisor application submitted with the supervisor with the official with the permission with the Department of Environmental Quality oil and gas with the mineral with the PO Box 3526 with the land sand Michigan 48909 with a copy with the first page for the permanent application shall be made with the clerk of the county clerk for the owner with the record of the land well the location located with the 7 of the day of submitting with the permanent application first class United States mail with the address for the surface owner with the last name with the address for the evidence for the current property tax roll records. When the proposed well location J for the area with the described subdivision B4AB of the or B, the subrule of the person shall file with the obtain with the applicable permit to the Department of Environmental Quality with the before developing the well with the well action of the well so with the before drilling with the well with the person shall also file with the obtain with additional permit for the required with the insulation flow line for the production with equipment with the before operating the well. Person shall file with the environmental impact with the assessment with the instructions by the supervisor. Person will organize the report with the current organization report with the not file with the supervisor. The person conform with the bonds for the statement. The financial responsible with the pursuant with the regulation 324-210. Person shall pay for the fee special with the statute with the fee located with the application for the not apply with the subsequent application of the fee shall with the return with the permanent not used. issue. The person shall provide with additional information required with the Rule 324.802 with the application of the permitted drill with the operator with the injection well with the converter with the previously drilled with the well and injection well. Person shall receive with the post of the permit with the conspicuous place of the well location. Person shall remain with the post of the well location until the well completion. A well person who with the desire with the direction with the drill with the well shall apply with the obtain with the permit with the drill operate with the provide with the rule with the application of the drill with the direction when drilled with the well shall include with the addition with the information specific with the sub rule with the following information: the depth of the deviation of the vertical display with the angle and the path of the deviation of the proposed horizontal distance direction of the well location of the bottom hole of the well measure for the true vertical depth of the supervisor shall process the permanent application of the well issue with the denial of the permit drill with the operate pursuant with the section 61525 of the act and pursuant with the rules 324.205 of the supervised not issue with the permit person authorized representative of the person of the person not eligible for the permit. Directional re-drilling. Permanent over the well with the desire with the direction over the re-drill with the existing with the different over the bottom hole over the location shall file with the application for the new permit with the application staff with the worth of the new bottom hole with the location over the depth with the back depth with the existing over the shall be filed with the rule 2324.201 for the re with the direction over the re-drill which shall not be with the commence for the application for the approved with the supervisor with the authorized representative with the supervisor with the expect with the provide with the sub rule with this rule with the new permit with the additional fee with the subject required with the permanent who with the well with the desire with the directional re-drill with the permanent existing permanent drill with the well with a different bottom hole location drilling rigging with the location with the show with the team with the approval with the supervisor with the authorized representative with the supervisor. Too fast. I stole it. My chair was wearing down some of the floor a little, one of the floor spots a little bit. Okay. Alright.
Meds.
Took them.
You took them already?
Yep.
Give me a hug, bub. I gotta go.
Pa.
Where? It's mine if you're gonna use it.
I don't think I will.
You don't think you will?
Yeah, I don't have really anything to shoot.
Night, buddy. I'm going.
Alright, love you.
Yeah.
Paul, you gonna take that paper and let Jim see it too?
Yeah.
Alright.
Love you, mommy. You too, little girl. You missed my mama. I hadn't seen her for like a whole month almost. I was jealous.
Okay, existing drill hole with a plug for the before starting with a new direction with a hole with the provision with a rule with a permanent provide with the attic with a district with a pro with the direction with a re-drill with a include with the depth of the thing with a path with the deviation of bottom hole location. Well, as the adequate bonding statement of financial responsibility has filed with the regulation 324.210 with a approval with the direction of the road drill with a granted with a permanent with a well ship with the same with a new permit with a pay of additional fee application with a new permit with additional fee ship with a fee fair with the intent date with the office of Michigan with the Department of Environmental Quality with the office of the oil and gas with the 0 PO Box 3256 Lansing, Michigan 48909 with the, in addition to the other enforcement action failure to comply with the sub rule shall for the cause of the immediate suspension any all components with the oil and gas operators on the well log plugging record should be filed with the plug hole back hole under these rules. Lost Souls Route 203. Permitted well ship with the team with approval of the skip with the ridge with the move with the trail with the new hole with the hole with the has been lost with the new permit with additional fee with the that record with the new with the well location with is within 165 with the lost hole with the drilling unit with the non exchange with the permanent with the well made with the team with the approval of the scheme with the rig and with the new well with the location with the lost hole with the firm with the authorized representative with the supervisor with the person with the telephone. Approval that may be granted immediately with the following provision complied with the last hole with the plug with it before starting with the replacement hole with the provision with the with the new well location made with the safety distance for last hole with the permanent provide with the adequate with the description with the new buttonhole location, bottom hole location. New well location should not create separate ways for the amendment of the applicant for the correct data attachment with the supplement for the 5 business day with the Office of Michigan, the Department of Environmental Quality, the Office of Oil and Gas for the Minerals for the P.O. Box 30256, Lansing, Michigan 488909 with the addition of the other enforcement action with the failure to comply with the sub rule shall with the substantial with the L with the component with the oil gas operation of the well log plugging record should be filed with the last hole with the under the provisions of these rules. Permanent oil and gas storage by the conversion of the operation. Rule 204 of the well with the underground operation of the well with the oil or gas of the converted with the storage of the oil and gas with any of the natural hydrocarbons produced oil gas well with the underground operation classified with the oil gas storage operation subject to the provision of these rules. Eligibility for permit. Rule 205, supervise the non-issue for the transfer of the permanent with the provided for the Rule 324-206-7 where the person has been with the determined violation of the following with the acts of the rule of the permanent condition, instruction, and order of the supervisor and order of the Department of Environmental Quality. 206. Permit shall with the not transfer the location outside of the drilling unit with a permit or well if it's not been initiated with the drilling with the well shall not either do the following chain with the well location with the drilling unit without with the prior approval supervisor with the authorized representative supervisory with the approval. Permit shall with the return with the permit of the Lansing office with the supervisor with the revised application for the corrective with the attachment supplement with the permit of the for the change of the well location grid with the 165 feet with a permanent location new permit an additional fee required with a permit required for the change with the well location less than 165 feet with the permanent location change with the well required with the revised permit and no additional fee with the change of the location of the injection with the regardless of the distance with the required with the new permit with additional fee. Drilling shall not begin with a new permit with a revised permit with the issue of the supervisor authorized representative of the supervisor with the post of the drilling site change with the method drilling casing sealing programs of the condition with the permit without prior with the approval of the supervisor the authorized representative of the supervisor with the receipt with approval of the permit shall with the return with the permit with the Lansing officer with the supervisor with the revised application and the corrected attachment supplement with the permit now only recover the modification existing the permit conditions and with additional fee with the not recover the drilling shall with not begin with until with the revised permit with the has been approved with the supervisor with the authorized representative of the supervisor first day of the drilling site. A permittee will with a well begin with the drilling with a well and count with the drilling problem the other drilling condition when necessary with the change with the do neither with the following with the change of the well location drilling with the unit with the other than provide with the rule 324-203 without prior with the approval of the supervisor with the authorized representative of the supervisor with the receipt with the approval of the change with the well located with the permit shall with the term of the permit to the Lansing officer with the supervisor with the together with the revised application with the correct attachment supplement with the drilling shall not begin with the legal location with the revised permit with the being issued with the supervisor with the authorized representative of the supervisor with the chain with the method with the drilling with the casing with the sealing with the program with the condition with the permit without prior approval of the supervisor with the authorized representative of the supervisor with the receipt with the approval with the modified with the existing permit condition with the only with the permit shall contact with the supervisor with the authorized representative of the supervisor with the telephone with the visit explain with the drilling with the circumstance with the request for the necessary change with the permit with the supervisor with the authorized representative of the supervisor with the may give with the verbal approval modified with the permit a condition with additional requiring report requiring with the permit with the approval with the modified with the existing permit with the granted with the revived permit with the corrected attachment supplement with a strip file with a 10-day after the officer for the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality oil and gas and mineral with the P.O. Box 30256 Lansing, Michigan 488909 additional permit fee with the not recover the permit over the well with the desire with the deepening of the well below with the permitted stratigraphic producing horizon well completion with the accurate with the filing application of the deepening with the permitted application set forth with the detail and with the new proposed the old depth of the plan with the casing sealing off of the oil gas and brine with the fresh water with the drive with the file with the express with the file with the deepening suit operation with the deepening operation shall not be commenced until the location with the with the supervisor with the authorized representative with the supervisor with the deepening permit additional fees required with the permit with the well with the desire with the continue with the drilling with the well below with the permanent depth of the within and the permanent stratigraphic producing horizon drilling completion with the well completion occurred shall file with the application change with the well per status with the pursuant rule 324-511 the application set forth for the in detail with the new proposed with the total depth of the plan casing with the sealing of the oil gas with the brine fresh water with the tribe with the file and expected the drilling is contained with the approval of the change with the well staff with the shell serve with the revised and permitted to reflect with the new permanent depth of the continue with the drill shall not be commenced with the application change with the well status have with the approved with the supervisor with the authorized representative of the supervisor with the obtained with the approval of the continue with the drilling in the below permanent depth of the permanent stratigraph of the produced the horizon of the drilling rig with the location permanent shall contact with the supervisor with the authorized representative of the supervisor with the letter telephone visit with the explain with the circumstance with the request for the continuing with the drilling supervisor with the authorized representative of the may be given the verbal approval to continue with the drilling below with the permanent depth within the permanent stratigraphic producing horizon if the approval continue with the drilling is granted with the permitted show with the applicable change with the well staff with the rule 324-511 within 10 days of with the officer of the permission with the Department Environmental Office of the Oil, Gas and Minerals, P.O. Box 30256 Lansing, Michigan, and a 48909 additional permit fee, but it is not required with if the permitted well with his or her of the rights to own over the well with another person within case of the authorized representative of the owner of the well with before the file Rule completion of the request for the transfer of the permit acquiring of the person shall be determined by the acquiring person supervised by the Office of the Michigan of the Department of Environmental Quality, the Office of the Oil and Gas of the Minerals, P.O. Box 30256, Lansing, Michigan 48909, and on the forms prescribed by the supervisor of the transfer of the permit approved with the upon with the receipt properly completed request, including signature of the permit with the record of the acquiring of the person up the filing with the acquiring person with a performance bond with the state of the financial responsibility acquired with the rules 324-210 with the producing transfer of the existing permit with the acquiring person shall not operate the well with the acquiring person shall be organized pursuant with the 324-2012H 201, a permit over the well shall not be transferred to the person over the term of the violation. Any of the filing of the permit shall have corrected the violation. Supervisor, except for the compliance, shall conclude with the written agreement to do with the correct with the violation, act with the rules, permit, condition, instruction, order. Supervisor with the order of the Department of Environmental Quality. Additional conformance bond with the covering in the period of the compliance schedule for the may be recovered with the conformance bond. In addition, with the conformance bond filed with the presumed with the rule 324-212 A or B, a permit over the well under the notice unsatisfactory conditions well installed and involved with the transfer of the permit with not transfer for the person with the permit with complete with necessary corrective action required of the person and to the written agreement to correct all of the unsatisfactory conditions. Alright, Rule 206, modifications. Let me just read that one. I got the tape.